Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in the Wild podcast. We're so glad you're here. And as usual, it's a very special episode. Blah, 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 blah. Melly, how are you?
I'm fab. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you're
Welcome back to FIT Dubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about all we have to say this episode. I'm telling you guys, full transparency here. As you know, we are amateur podcasters, professional women in other areas, not in the area of podcasting. And it is impossible to think of things to talk about every week. And in the past, we've been doing good for about a year and a half, but in the past couple weeks, it has gotten impossible. So I'm begging you, if you're listening to this, send us an idea.
Actually, I think people don't because they hate us. They don't send us any ideas because they're bullies. It's their own way of bullying.
Our listeners are bullies of us. They're like hate listeners.
Yeah.
Every listen is a hate listen.
Yeah, and guys, we've kind of just been slacking in all fields. We haven't posted on Instagram in months. Literally months. No TikToks. People probably think that we don't even have a podcast anymore.
They probably think that we gave up, which I actually hate. I don't want anyone, we're so not quitters.
Yeah. But we're also the ones just not doing. So there's no one to blame. It's just kind of been a hectic time in life. Like, you just moved for an internship. You're working the 9 to 5, plus some, minus some. It's a lot for you.
Minus nothing, plus a bunch.
My bad.
I wish it was minus some.
It was just a saying. I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers. My girl. My bad. And it's just been a hectic time. And because we are self-made, self-owned, self-ran, we don't have anyone working for us.
Yeah.
Obviously, because if they were, they'd be fired.
Yeah, they would be horrible employees.
But just know, we're sorry, but we're working through things, we're going through stuff.
And I think it's a big accomplishment that we still post episodes every week.
Yeah, we even talked about maybe sitting this week out, and then I said, you know what? We're not doing that, because you give an inch and they take a mile. We'll start skipping weeks every week.
Never back down, never what?
Amen.
Never give up.
Exactly. That's what we're here to do. We're just here to toot our own horns. Actually, this whole episode's going to be dedicated to our dedication.
This whole episode is going to be about how hard it has been for us to think of episodes and come here every week and talk for an hour with each other, but we're still doing it for our hate listeners.
For the podcast we decided to make.
Yeah.
And we act like everyone's so invested in our lives when really no one is.
Not no one. We have a very loyal fan base.
Yeah, my dad listens to us every week.
A lot.
Colin told me he was completely caught up.
Really?
Yeah. He said today, he's like, I just want you to know I'm completely caught up.
Wow.
Okay, I see.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I've kind of been dragging him through the mud. And I'll have to talk more about that later.
There is something that we have to say publicly towards Mr. Trent.
Yeah. Did you just hear that ding?
Yeah, I did.
Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Sorry.
As you guys know, Mally has been verbally accosted by Colin for ordering a chicken quesadilla at Taco Bell. As you may know, hopefully you do if you have a good life, the chicken quesadilla at Taco Bell costs $8.99 or something crazy.
Yeah, it's pricey, but it's a luxury we pay.
It is, yeah. I mean, Mally and I are women who enjoy a little luxury every now and then, and the Taco Bell chicken quesadilla is going to do it for us every single time.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, she's marrying a man very soon who is a hater of that luxury.
He just doesn't look at the beautiful side of life. He's into saving and stuff, which is just an unknown topic to me.
Yeah, no. The cost of living is the cost of living, if you know what I mean.
Right. You cut out, so I really don't know what you said, but anything you say, I'm going to agree with. So
I said something that actually didn't make sense, and I was waiting for you to say that it didn't make sense. I said the cost of living is the cost of living.
Unfortunately, the cost of living is how much it costs to live.
No, but what I mean by that, I saw this on TikTok. The cost of living is the cost of living your life and not just letting it pass you by.
Yeah, exactly. And like one thing I'm not going to let pass me by is a chicken quesadilla.
Exactly. So anyway, tell the next part of the story.
So today we were hungry and I was like, I know a place, like this underground restaurant you've probably never heard of. I whip into Taco Bell immediately upon arrival. You know, Mally, I tried the other day this thing, and like if you got it with chicken, I think it would be really good, and it's on the dollar menu. I was like, here we go, another cheesy roll up that he wants me to add chicken to. Like, this man is on my nerves. Well, we pull up and he's like, okay, it's called the Classic Stacker, and it usually comes with meat, but try it with chicken, or ask him if it'll come with chicken. So I was like, whatever, I just do it so I don't have to listen. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. $2. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Not him onto something. It was literally a chicken quesadilla. The cheese, the sauce, the chicken, and a little stacker. So it was like in a little triangle, but a lot smaller than the chicken quesadilla.
Folded it again.
Yeah, don't worry. I literally sat there for 5 minutes, didn't say one good thing about it as I'm eating it. Like, he knows I like it. I'm sitting there eating it. And he's like, yeah, I told you. And then he was like, and I'm going to need you to clear my name on this podcast. You've been running me in the mud. And I was like, whatever. But I will say, I literally had to come up with something that I didn't like about it. I wasn't going to let him have a complete victory. I was like, yeah, what I just like about the chicken quesadilla is I get chicken and cheese in every bite. And like in a few of my bites, I've only had cheese or tortilla. And he's like, you're insufferable. He's like, you're going to think of something negative to say no matter what. So I give up. I was like, you know what? That's true. I'm not going to ever say you're right.
No.
Everyone's wrong to a degree.
That's like first rule of marriage. So you're already doing a great job.
Thanks. I'm really good.
Mally said this today, told me this, horrible, really sad story about how Colin was maybe onto something just this one time.
This horror story.
This war story today. And it inspired me to go to Taco Bell for dinner tonight. And I tried the stacker with chicken. And I am afraid to say that it is exactly like a chicken quesadilla. However, I actually unfolded mine to make it more similar to a chicken quesadilla.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't sliced. So I had to tear it, and that got all messy. So it's not perfect.
There are flaws in the system.
There are flaws, but this idea that Colin had, again, just this one time, the first time ever, it has inspired what we're going to talk about this episode. So we said, maybe we should talk about money saving tactics. And then we thought, we have no clue how to save money. We're still learning. So if you guys want to give us tips for that, we would love it. But today we're going to talk about parts of adulthood that we actually are enjoying. Because I feel like we're always just trashing on being an adult. But I'm actually enjoying it greatly, I have to admit.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, obviously, like, there are the things that are awful, like, paying bills and having responsibilities. But there is really, like, just so much fun and freedom that comes with aging.
Yeah, along with paying bills comes getting paid. I mean,
yeah, having the money to pay those bills.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if you don't look at the positive side of growing up, that it can start to get really depressing. So, us, we're always looking on the brighter side. It's what we tend to do.
We are always staying on the sunny side.
Yeah, the sunny side of life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we're just going to try to shed some positivity, shed some light, and hopefully make you view your adulthood years in maybe just a little lighter breath, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I feel like
So let me think of something I actually like about vegan.
So, on the same note as Taco Bell, whatever, I have been enjoying, and this is a double-sided double-sided. What's that saying?
Double
Sword?
standard.
No,
Two-edged sword.
double-edged sword.
Double edge.
Double-edged sword. Yeah.
One thing about us is we're gonna share a brain cell. Sorry.
But cumulatively, we still only have like 2. So what was I just saying?
Something about a sword with 2 edges.
The double-edged sword. Yes. I love being able to choose what I eat all the time.
Really? Because that's something I kind of hate.
Okay. I like being able to choose what I eat. I like being able to just go get it, whatever I want. Don't have to consult anyone else. Don't have to be subject to like whatever my mom is making, whatever everybody else wants.
Subject. If I was your mom, you'd be starving.
No offense to my mom, because I always love when she cooks. And like now, anytime I'm home in the past like 3 years, she's just made whatever any of us want, because we're not home very often. But the other side of that is that you have to eat 3 meals a day. I actually don't. I usually eat 2 meals a day, but you're supposed to eat 3 meals a day, and coming up with things to eat every single day is insane. And I have a hunch that it only gets worse when you get married.
Yeah. So I like having this luxury of adulthood when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I hate this luxury when I'm preparing food for other people, picking where I eat with other people. I don't want to make the decision. I want someone else to make it. And that's so incredibly annoying on my part. I know it is, and I'm sorry.
It is. That you are so bad about that. I hate when you won't make a decision, just like about where to eat. Guys, Mally never will. She will.
Okay, never is crazy.
I think maybe you have never.
Oh, never.
I think you have made me do it every time.
You are literally lying. You're a dirty liar who lies.
When have you chosen?
I'm reminiscing, and there has to be times. I probably chose every time you were in Cookville because you didn't know anything.
I didn't know anything.
Cookville
has a million chain restaurants and nothing else.
And I took you to the real places.
You did. You always took me to places that were like non-chains.
Thank you.
You're right. You did probably choose when we were in Cookville, but even like when we go on trips, like you will never choose.
Okay, I'm sorry you hate me. Like, dang. Tell me how you really feel.
But on the other hand, I don't mind choosing. So
yeah, I just let you do what you enjoy. Jeez. No, I really do hate deciding, and like that is one thing that I'm not really looking forward to with marriage is making meals, because a lot of what Colin and I eat is probably going to have to be meal prepped, because he works days, I work nights. We're just going to have a lot of missing each other timing wise, and when I work 12-hour shifts, I'm not cooking. Sorry. Everything will be meal prepped, or I will be at Taco Bell getting a stacker quesadilla.
You're going to be eating a whole bunch of stackers.
I'm going to be stacked. And you know what? Colin's going to be fine because it's $2.
Yeah.
It'll be cheaper than meal prepping.
Yeah, it probably will. Have you thought about doing like a HelloFresh or Factor meals or anything?
Yeah, I think I would like to I've tried HelloFresh before, but I think that I would like to try the Factor because they're already like packaged and for one serving. Like you just got to put it in your lunchbox and go. So
I will say,
look into that.
My friend here, she has Factor meals for while we're in Chattanooga, and she thinks they might be hurting her stomach, but that could just be her personally. That's also probably like an OSHA problem or something that I shouldn't have just shared her health problems, but
I think it's HIPAA.
Oh. Yeah.
Not you literally putting on fake nails right now.
I have to prep for the big day. Can I say when your wedding is or no?
Sure, why not?
Guys, and the wedding
is tomorrow.
Which is so, I could cry. Like actually, now that I'm really thinking about like when this episode comes out, it'll be tomorrow.
I know. It's insane. And you know what? You'll have to listen to next week's episode to hear all about that. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna have to wait.
And I just want everyone to know, Laura Grace has been trying to expose my wedding day for literally the last 3 months. Every episode I've had to cut it out because I kind of just wanted it to be like a surprise, like, hey, she's married, like jump in your face and scare you. And no matter how many times I've had to ask this girl not to say it, she says it every week.
I just forget. Every single week I've been like, you're getting married in 2 weeks. You're getting married in 3 weeks. I'm seriously, every episode we've recorded for probably the last 4 weeks. And
everyone who listens, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, everyone who listens probably already knows, so.
Well,
now they do.
For those actual hate listens that we get, there you go.
Just know I'll be cooking tomorrow.
Yeah. And we have a very big weekend planned, but again, we will talk about that in the very next episode.
Exactly. So back to adulting. We've been on the subject for about money for about 10 minutes. So,
yeah.
I think that also just like a really nice thing of adulthood is just having the luxury to go and do. And I know that we are very lucky, like, we had cars when we were 16 and stuff like that, and our parents let us, gallivant and stuff. But, like, I was just thinking about our trip to Boston and how we just went to the beach a few weekends ago. We just have the liberty, like, the free will to do. And it's so fun.
That part feels so, like, crazy, and just, it still feels so new, even though we've been at it for a few years now, to just be able to say, hey, let's go run a marathon in New York City,
Yeah.
And then, like, we can book the flights. We can figure everything out ourselves.
Which we need to do.
We sure do. Anytime now. But let's maybe get your wedding behind us, and then we'll move
Please,
on
I'm begging.
to our next big event.
No, it is just so fun. Like, and we're going to Europe in 5 years. Like,
obviously, yeah.
It's just so crazy to think that if I wanted to move across the country, I could.
Yeah. Yeah. And even,
like, why wouldn't I?
Yes. And being in school and, like, applying to jobs, the fact that I can just apply to jobs in any city I want to, insane.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And I just think that, like, also there's a beauty in that, like, in your career. Like, if you're not happy where you're at, especially given the time period we're in, because I know in the past, like, jobs and opportunities were not as available as they are now.
Yeah.
And that is the one amazing thing about the workforce now, is like, if you're not happy, you can make a change. And you can just decide one day, I can't do this anymore. I've got to put me first and move. And that's just something that's super nice to have, because it's not always been like that.
Absolutely. I was going to say something else on that point. Well, moving a little bit into more like career stuff, something I've really been enjoying specifically this summer, now that I'm like actually in a firm, like, I'm not actually practicing law, obviously, but I'm around people who are, and it's more like how it's actually going to be. And I'm kind of like testing skills that I've learned and things like that. I think it's really cool to, like, kind of watch myself from a bird's eye view, like, become more confident in my career and just, like, in my personality. I feel like I'm just getting to be less anxious about everything I'm doing and less insecure about everything I'm doing. Not even the work I'm doing, because I have no clue what I'm doing still, and, like, probably won't until I've been practicing for, like, 3 to 5 years. But just being in that setting as an adult, like, out from under, like, my parents and out from under the Rogersville area, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of really feeling like I have strong roots and, like, I have a good foundation, but that I can build upon it and do whatever I want now, and, like, really become my own person. And seeing myself actually do that is just really cool. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's just what I've been thinking a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right, because, like, all we have known our whole life is, like, being a student or being under someone, being in someone's shadow, being directed. But, like, especially in my job, like, I've been a nurse for almost a year and a half, and when I first started, I was literally petrified. I was so scared, because, I mean, one little mistake and it can cost someone their life. So maybe one day I'll get into all the lore of my first year of nursing because it was just not the most pleasant. And now I go to work and like I still have a little bit of anxiety, but I'm not really sure where that's rooted from. But like at work, I'm like, I know what I'm doing to a certain degree. Obviously, there's always room to learn, but like I know what I'm doing and I can do it. Like when people need stuff done, like a doctor has orders, he gives them to me.
Yeah.
Or she. And that's just like great. Like I remember when I first started, I was like, holy cow, like I'm the nurse, I've spent 3 years being the student nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, you're the nurse now. And I think that it's also really nice because even like in those dark times and when I was struggling at work, I was like, okay, but what happens here does not change who I am.
Yeah.
Like at home and outside of work. And I think that that's also just part of aging. Like you just become more secure in like who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this actually might be crazy. So I used to just like in high school and stuff, I took people's opinions way, 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 way too seriously and like put way too much weight on people's opinions. Like you told me one time that you did not think layers looked good, and I'm not kidding. I didn't cut layers in my hair for like years because you told me that.
Mally,
And
layers
that's
look
just an
so
example.
good.
That's just an example. Like that's how much weight I put in. And now, as like a young adult, I'm just like, okay, who cares? Like I have layers. I have extreme layers in my hair now.
Well, you still care about my opinion.
Yeah, I had to ask your permission, but like anyone else's, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to do the exact opposite of what you told me to do.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's just like you become more secure in like who you are and what you like. And like if I wear a style and someone else calls it ugly, I'm just going to be like, okay, but I like it. So,
Yeah.
who cares? I think it's just really nice to know who you are. And like you're obviously going to change and learn about yourself, but like and being happy in who you are and confident in who you are.
Yeah.
I think that that's a really nice thing.
Yeah. And I feel like for all these years, people have said, it doesn't matter what people think of you. Like, you just need to know who you are and you'll figure it out when you get older. Like, it becomes easier to not be so insecure, not care about what people think as you get older. And I feel like I'm personally, I think it definitely got better in college. In high school, I was like pretty anxious, I would say, especially in our high school. I feel like I felt safer, or not safer, but more secure in settings outside of our high school. In high school, I felt like at school, I felt very anxious, very insecure. But then in college, it got a little bit better. But I feel like I'm just now really like stepping into my, I don't know if I would say like full potential, but like I'm just,
No, I think so.
yeah. And so it's cool to see that like all of those years when people were saying things like that, it's actually true, you know?
Yeah, and I think high school is just it's such a transitional time. It's really hard. Like, you are going through and finishing, like, going through puberty, and you're just now learning, like, what you do like and what your opinions are. You're kind of it's your first exposure to kind of the real world. And that's a lot to take in at once, just to
Mhm.
go through these major life changes. And then just as you start to like almost gain confidence, okay, you're graduating. And now if you want to go to college, you've got to move. And
Yeah.
it's just like starting all over with new friendships and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. So I think that it's a really transitional time, and it's hard there's no right way to go. High school, you literally just have to go through. You just
Yeah.
got to get through it.
Yeah, honestly. And
Not that it's like a challenge, but it's hard because you as a person are changing so much.
yeah. And I think high school's also an interest, like a weird time, because I feel like when you're a kid, that's obviously people change a million times throughout their lives, but I feel like as a kid, you're in general terms not like you are really yourself when you're a child, you know, and then you start caring about what people think and you get really insecure and you're not yourself for a while. You're like who people want you to be. But I feel like high school is a weird time because like I feel like in our friend groups, I felt very secure in our friendships and I felt like we were all really ourselves and had so much fun together, and that was like us, you know, like that was our true selves.
Mhm.
And then like we go to college and just, I don't know. This is my personal experience. Like, things changed, and obviously I had great friends in college, and I was still friends with all of you guys, and like whatever. But like, you're just trying out different personalities and like different like you're just
You're
trying on.
exposed to so much different stuff.
Yeah, you're just trying things on to like literally figure out who you want to be. And then like I feel like you get a little bit older and you know, I'm only 23. I have so many more years to change. But I feel like you kind of revert back to like who you were as a child in a way. You
Yeah.
know, like you find that person again.
Yeah, you like, especially when you go from the high school to college, like you find what you want to hold on to and
Yeah.
maybe what you want to change. And then when you become an adult, it's just more solidified. And I think you have more of an appreciation for your childhood and like
Yes.
your raisings and the things that you were grounded in.
Yeah.
Because you see the big picture that at the end of the day, like there's only certain things you have and life is a certain length and all that stuff. And it just makes you like more grateful and you're just able to see the whole picture a little bit better.
Yes. Yeah. I totally agree.
Totally
Agree.
Way to get extremely, extremely deep.
I know, and I have so much more to say on this topic. I've been thinking about it a lot because obviously I'm like figuring out where I want to be, what I want to be doing, and along with that is figuring out how much I want to work. And that's, I mean, that not that I love so far. Like I love law school. I love this little peak that I'm having into being a lawyer. It's not that I don't want to do it. I want to do it. I want to completely immerse myself in it. But then I'm like, I don't want that to be my life. Like I know that like my family will be more important than that. But that's impossible to balance. And that's why everyone says like you as a woman, you can have it all nowadays. Like you can have the perfect family and like you're obviously not a perfect family. I'm saying that colloquially.
Yeah.
But you can have the family and the kids and everything. And then you can also have have a good career, but just you might not be able to have it at the same time.
Or it's one is gonna completely eat into the other.
Yes, exactly. And I don't believe that. Maybe I'm just naive, but I think, and everybody does, I'm sure, when they're 23, they think they can figure it all out. But
yeah, they're like, oh, well, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys haven't seen me figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is like just going to work and stuff. You're like, man, this is what I have to live for. Like clocking in and clocking out, day in and day out. And I have to if I want my bills paid and if I want this luxury in life, then I have to do it. Because who's gonna? You know, like money's not just gonna fall into my lap. And it is really excruciatingly sad that that is what we have to live for. But unfortunately, it's the circle of life.
I can't remember if I said this last week, but at every job you start, they're always like, we have a great culture here and it's a good thing because you're going to spend more time with these people, with your coworkers. Did I say this?
Yeah. I think we mentioned it last week.
You're going to
in the
spend more
9 to
time
5.
with your coworkers than you do your family. And I just think like, why do we normalize that? Like why are we just supposed to accept that? I don't like that at all.
You know, working in the hospital when I started, I hated, and sometimes I still do, I hated working 12-hour shifts. But now, this is what I literally call it. I call it serving my sentence. I do my 3 shifts, and then I have 4 days off in the week. Like,
Yeah.
I go in, and it's not like every day has to sacrifice time. It's like, okay, work my shifts, get my time off.
Yep.
And I have pretty good stretches. So then I'm like, if I ever leave this, it's going to be going to 5 days.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to do that.
No.
Or going part-time.
I wish the work week was 4 10-hour days.
Yeah.
Because you're already there 8 hours. What's 2 more?
Exactly. You're already there so much. Like, why not work 4 more hours and then get 2 more days off?
Yeah. Yeah.
But who are we? Maybe we can rewrite the workforce.
Yeah. I really think if the work week was 4 and 3, 4 work days, 3 weekend days, the world would be so much better.
Yeah. Agreed.
But that's just my personal opinion. We've accidentally dipped back into the negative parts of adulthood.
And, we're going to circle back to the negativity.
Yeah.
But one dosing of adulthood I've gotten just in this past week is moving into mine and Colin's future home. Well, future is in like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
But I've already moved out once and like moved into my apartment and stuff. But that was different. Like I lived by myself and it was tiny and it was an apartment. And now we have a house.
And you knew you would be coming home for breaks
Exactly.
and when school's over. Yeah.
I knew it was temporary.
Mhm.
And like obviously this is not our forever home, but it is going to be a little bit longer than, it's the only place we have to go.
Well,
So,
and you're not moving back with your parents after. Like this is
no.
your life now.
Yeah, moving on. But it really is like super fun. It was really fun to like take everything we got from our shower
Yeah.
over to the house and start unpacking it and like washing the dishes and like, okay, but what cabinet do we want this to go in? And
Oh, that's so fun.
I'm sure it'll change a billion times because like I don't know. But then you get into the nitty gritty and it's like, oh, we need dish soap, dish detergent, laundry detergent, dryer sheets, trash cans, trash bags. Everything is so expensive and it all adds up really quickly. But it really is like super fun just to watch like the transforming, like adding your own personal touch into things is really fun.
I think just the simple decisions like like when you are first getting married, like what cabinet are we going to keep our mugs in that we're going to get out every morning and have coffee,
Right?
And even if you don't do that, like just the process of all of that is so fun.
No, I love like decorating and homemaking and stuff like just like organizing. I love stuff like that. So when we were like unloading the dishwasher and everything, Colin and I maybe got into a tiff about where the cups were gonna go, but they went where I put them. So it's just fun and it's like fun to be like, oh yeah, this person got us this,
Yes, yeah.
So,
that's something that I'm really excited about is to just accumulate a collection of things like over my whole lifetime, but especially when you're first getting married and stuff.
And it also is really nice to like not have junk. Like we just have what we were given, what we want.
Yeah.
And like whenever I do move all my clothes and stuff, I'm going to have a purge and like I'm only taking what I want.
Yeah.
Everything else we're going to have a yard sale and it's going to vanish some way or another. But it is fun. It is weird though having to like take someone else's opinion into things because it's like I don't get to decide everything. Although like our house is extremely heavily influenced by what I want. But it is weird like Colin trying to make decisions. I'm like, in Barbie's dream house, you're gonna make that? Although I will say he did hang our 75-inch TV today.
Yay.
And it looks fine. It's not like crazy big. And he put an extender on it where you can turn it. He's like, look, you can watch it from the kitchen. I was like, I can watch it from 3 towns over, honey. Don't worry.
See it from here.
I can see it with my eyes closed. It's fine.
No, it'll be so fun for movie nights.
I know. I'm so excited.
Shoot, what was I about to say? Oh, Mally got some towels from Walmart, and that's another thing about adulthood is just the switch in your brain to get excited about things like new towels, new toothbrushes, wedding registry items,
I was like, you're an adult when you get excited unwrapping a mop.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, a mop.
The O-Cedar mop was like the best gift at Mally's bridal shower.
Yeah. Shout out to my aunt. She got that for me.
People like literally oohed and awed when she opened it.
Yeah. That and the KitchenAid mixer that Colin's sisters got us.
And honestly, I love that part of adulthood. Which is just having a community of like women who also like dish towels, and like who also get excited about your new vacuum and stuff like that. Like, I think that is really fun. And you can see how like communities were built on stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like homemaking and just like learning to be a wife and in the very distant future like so far from now when I'm 50, a mother. So
We'll
yeah,
probably-
that is.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
We'll probably have already taken like 10 European vacations by then.
I could only hope. Also, like, someone was talking to us at church and like congratulating us on getting married and stuff, and they don't know like me on that level of like she does not want children at this moment. And they were like, yeah, we were telling your dad like he's losing his hunting partner, but maybe he'll get a lot of little ones. And I was like,
When?
not from me. You better be calling on my sister because I'm not that girl. You've got it twisted.
That's so funny.
It's like, no, I'll be waking up at 5 a.m. to go hunting. No.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. It was
so
funny
funny.
though. It is crazy though, because in my mind where I just don't want kids and people automatically associate like, okay, when are you gonna have a kid? I'm like, whoa, a teen pregnancy? Are you crazy? Oh, not me. I just graduated.
Yeah.
I just turned 15 and started driving. What are you talking about?
Literally.
But yeah, making a home is fun. Expensive, but fun. But I will say a nice luxury is going to Walmart and picking out what I want and just paying for it. Because I'm an adult. I'm not 15 anymore.
Being able to choose your own groceries, while I hate grocery shopping, being able to choose what's in my refrigerator, love it.
There are a few things in adulthood like I need to overcome. Like today, I would not go to Walmart by myself because I knew I had to push a buggy.
Classic Maddie here.
No, I literally asked Colin to go with me 3 times. He was busy putting our bed up. And then I made my mom come home and go with me. Yeah.
I like
and if you were home, I would have called you.
Yeah.
But you've abandoned me in my most dire time.
I just like, I can't believe that you're getting, we've said this a million times to each other, but I want to say it on the podcast. I can't believe that you're getting married in 2 days and I'm not with you. Like, that is really, it's
Just know when your time comes, I would never treat you the way you've treated me.
Shut the heck up, okay?
Do we have anything else we need to say about being an adult?
Nah.
All right. Well, we're going to batch a few episodes because I'm going to be out of office, out of commission. So make sure you listen to next week's episode. We're going to share all the wedding information, pre-wedding vibes, thoughts, opinions, comments,
Maybe
concerns.
some predictions. We might bet on it.
Oh, you know how we manifest. So
True.
just stay tuned. We're going to predict the future. But we hope that this episode has been relatable and just makes you feel a little bit more happy about being an adult because sometimes it is hard, but you got to look on the bright side.
So true.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. See ya. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.